Well, hello there. You've come through to Fantabulous Speaks. As always, my name is Olivia Rose, and today we're going to talk about protective styles. So I know y'all looking at me like, wait a minute, did she grow her hair overnight? Yes, I did, actually. No. As you guys can see, this ain't mine, but I paid for it, so it's mine today. Anyway, this is a wig that I'm wearing. It's a half wig. But I'm going to talk to you guys today about protective styles and my opinion on weaves, wigs, braids, ponytails. Those are the things we're going to talk about today. So let's begin on the first one, weaves. I am not a big advocator on weaves. I have yet to meet a woman who has had a weave who has not experienced damage, breakage, thinning, any of that. And I believe that it's all due to the process, and it's all due to the beauticians and what they tend to do with ladies and gentlemen and the hair and putting in the weave. So I don't advocate it. I have yet to meet someone who has not experienced thinning, breakage, or any kind of damage after having a weave. So I don't do the weaves. Moving right along, braids. Big advocate of braids. Actually, I used to do braids all the time. If you knew me 2 years ago, like, you'd be like, what? Braids all the time? Hello? It was the truth. But braids do have a big downside to it. And that is the stress that it puts on your hair, particularly on your edges. As you guys may have noticed or may not notice, my edges are they're pushed back. I'm like, how you doing? And that's because of me getting braids, not letting my hair breathe in between getting braids. Then I was being really cheap, and I'd be like, my hair look good. Even though it's like 9 months later, 10 months, a year later, and I still have the same braids in, and I haven't taken them out. I know, it's tacklicious, but hey, it's what I did. So, I would tell you, if you are going to get braids, ladies, please let your hair breathe in between getting braids. Make sure that the stylist that you have knows to put less stress on your edges. Also, please don't wear your hair in braids and then pull it back too often. You don't want to be pulling it back because you're adding stress to your hairline, and that's how you get a lot of breakage on your hairline. So those are other things. Also, be wary of your stylist. Your stylist, if they're sitting there like getting it all tight, and if you can see bumps and things at your edges, then there you go. That's obviously not healthy for your hair. Your hair should not respond like that. So, or your skin for that matter, and scalp should not respond like that. If your scalp is red, that's a clear indicator. Not a good look. So, but I do love braids because they do allow the hair to have a protective style for a while, but you can't have them in there for like 9-10 months. You have to take them out. I wouldn't even advocate anything 6 months. I would say 3 months, let it breathe. For 2 months, put the braids back in. So that's that. Wigs. Very big on wigs. Love wigs. But before we get there, I want to talk about ponytails. Now, ponytails are a great protective style provided that you know what you're doing. Ponytails, if you guys are pulling your hair back and then making it super tight and then putting the gel on your edges and then smoothing it down and using that hard brush, well, it's not a protective style anymore. You know, you can't put your hair back into that tight scrunchie and think that your hair's not going to break at the mark of where you put the scrunchie. You know, it is going to break off. Then also the hard brush that you're using to smooth down your edges so that it looks like this slick back thing doesn't really work. You would have to do something closer to like a messy bun or a nice loose, you know, ponytail to actually consider it a protective style. And you can't wear buns every single day because you're pulling at your edges. You need to let your hair breathe. So if you're going to do a ponytail, please don't do what I just said. Those are big no-nos, okay? Now we're going to talk about wigs. Wigs. I love wigs. I think wigs are great. But the downside to wigs is not appropriately prepping your wigs. I'm going to tell you first up, I do not do lace front wigs. I am not an advocate for lace front wigs because they basically tear at your edges. So they do exactly what I'm saying isn't a good thing. So it no longer becomes a protective style. What I will say is a full wig and a half wig, provided that you prep your wig. So what does it mean prepping your wig? What does that mean? So I'm going to begin. I'm going to tell you the wig that I have on now is the Totally Instant Weave. And the color is 2. And where did I put it? Oh, right here. This is, as you can see, I have about 4 of these now. I wear the same wig, but I'll buy 4 or 5 of them depending on how my hair is and what stage my hair is in. What I mean by that is, ladies, if you have a fresh perm, you should wear a fresh wig. Not weave. Wig. If your perm is getting, on, you should go for more of the wigs that look a little bit aged or older. If you need a perm, you should go for one of your older wigs. Because if you do the inverse, like wear, a fresh perm and then have an old wig, you will look ridiculous. And if you have a fresh wig and you need a perm, you will look very ridiculous because of the texture of the hair and how it will look. So that's just a, food for thought. Now this wig, and the reason why I love wigs is because they're just so cheap. This one was 19 pounds. And if you know how to prepare and conserve your wig, you will be able to keep it for as long as you possibly can. So, prepping the wig. When you get your wig, you will have one of 2 options. You will have a comb in the front, you'll have a comb in the back, and sometimes you will have a drawstring. What I'm telling you to do, everyone is going to be different. So this rule does not apply to every single person. You need to feel when you put on your wig, for the time that you put it on, wear it in your house for like a couple of hours. Feel where it's pulling. If you feel like it's a heavy wig and it's pulling at your front, cut the comb out of the front. If you feel like, okay, it feels fine, but it's kind of rising up and it's pulling at the back, cut out the comb in the back. Now, I know a lot of you are like, cut out the comb. How does it not stay in my head? Look at this. Look at this. This is not going anywhere. I don't have a comb in the back of my head. What I do sometimes, I didn't do it today, what I do sometimes is that I will put a bobby pin here and I will put a bobby pin here. And that will secure the wig. Ladies, if you're putting a bobby pin in your hair, please make sure that that bobby pin has the plastic bulb on it. Do not put, one of those old bobby pins that you have that have the metal piece and it's sticking in your hair because it will pull your hair out. Please be gentle with your hair. So, just put in 2 bobby pins or put in 1 bobby pin here wherever you feel like it needs to be secured, and it will stay in place. Please do not put 80 million bobby pins in your hair because it will defeat the purpose and you won't basically get what you're trying to do here. So just put bobby pins in it. So you have to either take out the front or the back. Also, if you're going to wear a fall, and a fall is essentially just a little added piece of hair to make your hair look fuller or longer, same rule applies. Put on your wig for the first time and then feel it out. And then just say like, okay, well, is it pulling here? Is it pulling there? Wherever it's pulling, cut the comb out. And it's so simple. Ladies, as you can see here, there's this little string that's in here that you can just cut that, and once you cut the string, the whole comb will just fall right out. Just cut the string. Don't cut the cap and don't cut at the comb. Cut at the string and the whole thing will fall out. So next up, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more in depth about how to protect your wig and how to keep your wig for a much longer time. They tell you that you can kind of keep your wig for a month, but I'm going to tell you my little secret of how you can keep it for up to 3 to 6 months. So stay tuned for more.